Hello bookworms, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to tell you about my goals for 2019. I'm going to split this video into 4 different sections. First, I'm going to talk about goals related to my personal life, and then we'll talk about goals related to reading books. And then I also want to talk about goals related to series, and then we'll end with goals related to my channel. As I go through each of those sections, I'm also going to reflect on how I did for 2018 before talking about my 2019 goals. So first, let's start with personal life. The only really big life event that I had in 2018 was buying my first house. So my husband and I had actually signed a contract on a house back in 2017, but it was a new build, and so it took a while to get finished. And we ended up moving in at the end of September, early August. Now that it's January, we're pretty settled in the house. We absolutely love it. The layout is perfect, the location is great, and after living with our in-laws for a little over a year, it's really nice to have our own space again. One of my goals for 2019 is going to be getting the house a little more organized, and I also want to declutter some of the things that we have. That's been on my to-do list since we moved in, but the last few months of 2018 were fairly busy, and I just really haven't set aside the time to get things as organized as I would like. I've started watching Marie Kondo's show because I'm hoping it'll motivate me, and I also have a copy of her book, and I think I might read that in the next month or two. Other than that, I don't really have any goals or big plans for 2019 other than just like health and fitness sort of things. I want to get on a more consistent exercise schedule. I really haven't been consistently exercising for a couple years now. I want to cut down on fast food and cook more, which are all goals that I typically have at the beginning of every year, but hopefully this year I actually make some progress on those. All right, moving on to books. So looking back at 2018, I had a Goodreads goal of 52 books, and I met that goal of 52 books. Exactly. I was really happy that I was able to make that goal, especially considering that in 2018 I didn't read any graphic novels, and I was reading some bigger books. I set my goal at 52 again for 2019. I just really like that number because it equates to reading 1 book a week, and I think that is really manageable. I like setting achievable goals and not goals that stress me out. Setting it at 52 books helps to motivate me without overwhelming me. I have a feeling that this year I'm going to read even more longer books than I did last year, so I really do think that 52 books is going to be a challenge. Another goal I had last year was to have a better balance of backlist books versus new releases, and I think I did that. I did read less new releases last year than I did the year before, and I think that helped my average rating to be higher, just because I tend to have worse luck with new releases, and I typically give them lower ratings than I do for backlist books. In 2018, I want to continue to read more backlist books than new releases. Last year, I didn't put any specific numbers to this goal. It was just a nebulous try to find a good balance. But I think I want to put an actual number on it this year. So last year, looking at my spreadsheet, I read about 72% backlist and 30% new releases. So I think for 2019, I want to set my goal at 75% backlist. So not too far off from what I did last year, but read just a little bit more backlist. In 2018, I'm going to try really hard not to request very many ARCs or advanced reader copies at all. And I say that knowing that I already have 2 ARCs that I need to read in the next few months, but I do enjoy reading some new releases, especially if they're from authors that I've already heard of, and I feel like reading at least some new releases helps me to stay involved in the conversation on BookTube and BookTwitter, but hopefully I can keep it to about 25% of my reading. So another thing that I want to work on this year is reading more of my own TBR. Last year, I definitely acquired a lot more books than I'm used to getting, and so this year I really want to focus on at least making progress on reading the books that are on my shelves. Desiree from the channel Libri Labra is doing a read your shelf challenge. I don't think that's exactly what she's calling it, but she did a couple videos already of her cataloging her own books, and she shared a spreadsheet that anybody can use to catalog the books that they own and what formats they own it in and how many of those are read and unread. Over the last couple of weeks, I've gone through all of the books that I own, including my physical books and my ebooks and my audiobooks. I marked down which ones I've read and which ones I haven't. I'll pop on the screen the total numbers that I came out with. It looks like I own a total of 196 books right now, although the vast majority of them are ebooks. Out of the 196, I actually have read 114, so not too bad, and I have 82 books that are unread. The goal that I'm going to set related to my owned TBR is that I want to read at least one book that I own every month. If I do that, I will at least have read 12 books by the end of the year that I own, bringing my total unread books from 82 to 70. And that's just a minimum, so hopefully by the end of the year it's less than 70, but I'm also trying to account for the fact that I'll probably acquire more books this year, and regardless of that, I still want that number to be 70 at the end of the year. And also, if I, 1 month read 2 books that I own, that doesn't mean I'm off the hook the next month. I still want to read one of my owned books every month, regardless of if I get ahead or something. And so hopefully, even if I acquire more unread books, I'm able to still reach that goal of 70 by the end of the year. Another reading goal that I have is related to my TBR jar. So I have a TBR jar, and every time I make my TBRs, I pull out 3 books from the TBR jar and add it to my list. The problem is that I've always been pretty loosey-goosey about my TBR jar. I would basically take those books and move them higher on my TBR, but I wouldn't necessarily need to read them that month or that season. So what's happened is that now I have kind of a surplus of TBR jar picks, although in the last couple of months I've been able to tick off a few of them. So my goal for 2018 is to read 1 TBR jar pick a month. And this goal is going to be similar to the own TBR goal in the sense that if I read 2 one month, it doesn't mean that I'm off the hook the next month. No matter what, I have to read 1 TBR jar pick a month. My TBR jar is looking pretty empty these days. It only has a handful of stars in it right now because I didn't refill it last year. So I'm adding 12 titles to it this year that are all from my owned TBR. So hopefully some months I can tackle both of these goals with just 1 book. I did write down the books that I'm going to add to the TBR jar for 2019, and I figured I would just read them to you real quick so you can kind of get a glimpse of what some of the books I pull out might be. I do have some leftover books from previous years, so just because I say it doesn't mean I'm going to pull it out of my jar in 2019, but I might. I have Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Woman in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck, The Ruins by Scott Smith, The House at Riverton by Kate Morton, The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards, Rail Sea by China Mielville, The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, Saving Fish from Drowning by Amy Tan, The Bone Setter's Daughter by Amy Tan, and The Kitchen God's Wife by Amy Tan. So I added all of those titles to my TBR jar, and I may or may not be pulling them out throughout the year. Hopefully by putting in titles that I own, I'll be helping myself to meet both of those reading-related goals. And then the last book goal that I have for 2019 is that I want to start writing Goodreads reviews for all of the books that I read. Over the last year, year and a half, I have really fallen off the wagon as far as writing written reviews. I actually used to have a book blog where I wrote reviews for everything that I read for the first year, year and a half that I was like on book internet. I did write some reviews in 2018, but I was not consistent with it, and I probably didn't write any in the last half of the year. I read other people's Goodreads reviews to give me an idea of what I should expect from books, and I look for my friends' reviews when I'm on Goodreads all the time, and so I feel a little hypocritical by utilizing other people's reviews but not really putting any of my own. I mean, I do use star ratings on Goodreads, but I've really stopped writing written reviews, and that's something that I want to get back into. So I have a goal for 2019 of writing a review for every book that I read. That's definitely a lofty goal. I don't usually like setting goals that are so hard to achieve, but writing written reviews is really important to me, and it's something that I really want to make a priority this year. All right, time to move on to series. So in 2018, my series-related goal was to end the year reading less series than I was reading at the beginning of the year. I talked about this a little bit in my 2018 statistics, but I did meet this goal. I started 9 series in 2018, and I only finished 7 series. But I looked through the list of series that I was reading and decided not to continue or to DNF 8 series. So between starting series and DNFing and finishing series, I lowered the number of series I was reading by 6. So I went from reading 32 series at the beginning of 2018 and ending with only 26 series. My goal for 2019 is going to be the same. I want to end 2019 with at least 1 series less than what I started with, so at least 25. I think this will be fairly challenging this year. I originally wanted to make a goal of not starting any series at all in 2019 because that's definitely an area that I have struggled, but I have so many series that I want to read, and I feel like a lot of series I was putting off, even though somehow I still started 9 series last year, and so I don't want to set any specific numbers of series that I can start. I do still have 5 or 6 series where I only have 1 book left, and so those should be easy to finish this year, and then hopefully I can binge a few more that I have a couple books left in. Alright, let's move on to channel goals. In 2018, the only channel goal I really had was that I wanted to post at least once a week. And I got really close to this goal. I mean, I would consider that I met this goal because there was only 1 week where I missed a video, but even then I only missed it by a few days. If you look at the total number of videos that I posted in 2018, it's somewhere around 85, which is a good bit more than 52, which would be 1 a week. So even though I technically didn't meet this goal, I still posted really consistently, and my total number of videos is more than 52, so I'm happy with that. In 2019, I want to continue this goal. I want to set a minimum posting schedule of at least once a week, but I'm really going to be shooting for posting closer to 2 times a week. I have a few other YouTube related goals that I want to talk about, none of which are a subscriber count goal. I totally understand why other people would set subscriber count goals. I feel like I have no control over how many people subscribe to me over the year, and so I don't want to make a goal based on something I have no control over. So instead, that's why I'm choosing my primary goal as just consistent posting, because that is something I have control over. Another one of my channel related goals is that I want to do at least 6 Goodreads live shows in 2019. So in 2018, I posted a video explaining my Goodreads shelving system, and I did 1 of these live shows where I did a live stream where I was decluttering and organizing my Goodreads shelves. I only did 1 of those last year because I ran into sort of a technical difficulty in the sense that I wanted to be able to share my computer screen and have you guys see my face at the same time, but that didn't work on just like the normal Google Hangouts. I think I found a solution to where I can share my screen and share my face in live streams. Once I get that figured out, I want to start doing more of these live shows, and my goal is to do 6 this year. Another type of video that I want to do more of in 2019 are reading vlogs. I personally love watching reading vlogs, and I actually did some reading vlogs back in the early part of 2017, which was before reading vlogs really became popular. At the time, it was kind of a rollover from doing Vlogmas in December 2016, and I was doing weekly reading vlogs, and I really liked doing them, but they quickly took over my channel in early 2017 and turned into the only type of content that I was making, and I wasn't happy with that, so I stopped making them. So while I love doing reading vlogs, I knew that this year I wouldn't be able to do weekly reading vlogs every week, and so my solution to this was weekend reading vlogs. I'm gonna try and do 6 weekend reading vlogs in 2018. I already have the first one planned. I'm gonna be participating in the 24 and 48 readathon that's happening on January 26th and 27th, and I'm gonna vlog the readathon. Like I said, I love watching reading vlogs, and I'm excited to try my hand at making them again in 2019. And then the last thing that I want to talk about are like collabs or read-alongs. These aren't really goals, but just like things that I have going on related to my channel, I guess. I'm of course continuing in the Readalong or Wheel of Time read-along with my friend Roya from Unicorn Hunter Books. We're on book 11 of the Wheel of Time for January, and we should be reading the last book, the 14th book, in April. I'm going to be really sad when this read-along is over. It's been such a ride, and I'm very much looking forward to finally finishing the series after all of these years. And then the other exciting thing that I have going on, it's something that I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of, and in fact it might be how you found my channel in the first place, but I'm collaborating with 5 other booktubers on a separate channel called the World Hoppers. This was put together by Elliot Brooks, and it includes her, Murphy Napier, Daniel Green, Jay from Captured in Words, and Jashana C. On the second channel, we're going to be doing videos together where we talk about lots of fantasy and sci-fi related topics. We haven't posted anything yet, but we have a lot of ideas in the works. I'm really excited to be working with these other booktubers. A lot of these booktubers are ones that I've either watched their channels for a long time and admired from afar, or I've talked to them outside of just the comment section, so they're people I would consider to be friends, and I'm really excited that we're all going to be working on this channel together. The really cool thing about this channel is that all of the AdSense money that we get will go towards charities that we get to pick. I'll definitely link the other creators involved in the World Hoppers channel down below, as well as the World Hoppers channel, so that you can subscribe to it and catch our videos when they come out. Alright guys, those are all of the goals that I have for 2019. Tell me what some of your 2019 reading goals are down in the comment section. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you like bookish content. I post 1 to 2 times a week. That is all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bookworms, keep reading. Bye. To finishing up, I also want to, how do I explain this? And I did meet, I talked about one less, but I haven't ever really been, but I haven't been really, but, I just really can't talk. Bye.